Today we will discuss legal issues and ethics related to information system security, right? So today we are planning to discuss some uh, legal aspects related to information system security, right? Okay. Yeah. So this is the content I'm planning to discuss today, right? First of all, we will learn copyrights, right? Patents and trade secrets, right? So if you are dealing with information system security, so these three concepts highly interact with the legal aspects, right? So if you are working on a company, they have some trade secrets, right? They have some copyright properties, right? They have patents, right? So maybe if you are accessing those resources, you need to think about the legal aspects, right? If you violate one of these properties, maybe uh, you need to face some legal issues, right? So we are planning what are the copyrights, patents, and trade secrets, and how they are interact with the legal aspects. What will happen to maintain the legal aspects of these, right? Then we will discuss the information is different from other assets, right? How the information is varying from other tangible properties, right? Then we will discuss the relationship between the employer and employees, right? So if you are working as an employee, or maybe you are an employer in a company, between that employer and employee, the relationship plays a major role, right? If you violate something, what will happen? So what are the legal and ethical concerns between the employers and employees in an organization, right? Then we will discuss, let's say you notice some of that threads or vulnerabilities in your systems, right? Maybe you are as a user, as a person responsible, right? You are monitoring that software application, but in your software application, you are facing some of the issues, right? Some of the error messages or vulnerabilities. So you need to report those vulnerabilities for the vendors, right? So how you can communicate and what is the procedure, right? So how we can avoid that conflict between that vendors and users. Then we will discuss those aspects, right? Then we will discuss computer security related statute means laws, right? So statute is a synonym for laws, right? So we will discuss some computer security related laws, right? Then finally we will discuss ethics, the difference between ethics and laws, right? Also, we will discuss some of the ethical concern with some case studies, right? So I will explain a paragraph or explain a scenario, or you need to tell whether that scenario is ethical, legal or not. If not, it is ethical, then you need to validate why you are telling it's not ethical. Likewise, you need to justify those things, right? So that is the content I'm planning to discuss in these slides. Maybe we have enough time, we will move for the next topic, right? Okay, now we will further delay, we will move, right? Can someone tell me what do you mean by copyright? Maybe you definitely have some experience, right? So copyright law. So if you copyright someone's works, what will happen? What do you mean by copyright?
Without permissions, we use someone works.
We are using someone works. So what do you mean by patent? What is the difference, copyright and patents?
Patents mean they are strategies. The way they are doing their product or services, we without their permission we use them.
So how we can differentiate copyright and patents? Where we can apply copyright, where we can apply patents. See, you have something, you have some novel aspects or novel products or novel things, right? Where you can apply copyright protection, where you can apply patents rights. We cannot apply uh, both in the same situation, right? Depending on the specific situation, we can apply whether copyrights or patent. So, what do you mean by copyright? What is the difference of between copyright and patents? maybe if you browse a web page, right, they are putting as a copyright symbol, right? So this is a property of this organization. It is protected by copyright laws. So it means what? So where we can apply. So patent means what? What is trade secrets? Tell me.
So,
Okay, we will look at, right? So just try to understand the difference between copyrights, patents, and trade secrets, right? So copyright in the sense, let's say you have some innovative ideas, right? So you have some intangible innovative things, right? Innovative planning or innovative idea. For that one, we can apply the copyrights, right? Let's say you are making a video or maybe you are making a song, right? So maybe you are making a novel content, right? So it's your idea based on your knowledge, your skills. You are generating a particular content, right? That is your idea. That is your own creativity, right? So for that, those type of content, we can apply the copyrights, right? So if someone copying your works, maybe you can file a legal things, file a case against them legally, because if someone copying your own works, right? Maybe you are doing a research, right? So that is your novel ideas, right? Your expression of ideas, right? So at that time we can apply the copyright legal things, right? So maybe if you have an innovative idea to solve a problem, right? That is your own. That is your own ideas, right? So maybe you can apply those ideas, or you can share with that specific organization, and you can take the copyright protections, right? So if it already exists, we cannot get that copyright protections, right? So if the idea or that novelty or innovative thing is yours, then you can take ownership of that one, right? So we can apply the copyright when to protect against the uh, to protect your own expression of ideas, right? Maybe you're writing a book. Just think about you're writing a book related to machine learning. So that is your ideas, right? So based on your knowledge, your skills, your cognitive skills, by using that, you can create or you can make that book, right? So those things we can say copyrights, right? So you have the permission, you have that authorized permissions to get the copies of those books, right? If someone, without getting your prior approval from you, the copyright, you are the owner of the resource, right? So if someone publish your book without your consent, maybe you can take legal actions against him, right? So that is a benefit we are getting if we protect or if you own your own ideas, right? So you are the owner of your idea. If someone copying or someone use your ideas, they need to pay or they need to get your permissions. If they done something without getting your permission, you can take actions against them, the legal actions, right? So that is copyrights. What do you mean by patents? So copyrights related to your expression of ideas, but patents is that is like your products, right? Maybe your innovative production. So maybe you are develop something, right? That's a tangible objects. So those things we can apply the patent rights, right? So if you are design a vehicle, right? You are designing a particular uh, uh, drone, right? So if that design is not available by someone, it means that we have some patent organization, right? So if already they are not registered with that particular product in the patent organization, but anyhow you are propose a particular design, so then you can apply your design, you can justify. If they accept your design patent, they are provided by that organization, right? So copyright means that is related to your ideas, innovative and creativity related aspects we apply for copyrights. If it is a patents, then you have developed something or you are developed a blueprint or you are developed or your product something that is they are apply for patents, right? So designed to protect inventions, tangible objects or ways to make them, right? maybe the knowledge what we have, that technology, science, and engineering, by using the knowledge, we can develop or we can produce some products. That is we can call patents, right? So if you develop something new, that is your own property, right? So you are the owner of that particular template or particular product. So then we can get the patent rights for that product, right? So that, what do you mean by trade secret? Tell me.
The process they are using to make the products.
Yeah, the trade secrets are related to the business, right? So let's say you are manufacturing a particular meals or particular product, right? So you're mixing different components, right? So different materials, right? So the mixture of those different raw materials in a different ratio, we are getting in some novel things, right? So that is your trade secret, right? So if you are manufacturing a soft drink, right? So maybe how you are mixing that sugar, how you are mixing the carbon dioxide. So depending on that levels and ratios, you have some unique soft drink, right? So that mixture values, what is the ratio, what is the amount you are mixing, so that how you are prepare those things, your trade secrets, right? So if someone steal your trade secrets, they can produce, they can also manufacture the same product, right? So what will happen if they steal your information, your trade secrets? They also reproduce the same flavors of soft drinks, right? So now what will happen if they are adding more features with your existing trade secrets? Now sometimes the customers are turned from your soft drink to consume your soft drinks, they maybe migrate to some other company soft drink, right? So likewise, you have lost your business, right? So trade secrets are highly related to business uh, activities, right? If you're running a business, your business secrets, right? So because of that trade secrets, you are getting competitive advantage, right? So you are achieving the competitive advantage because of that trade secret. If someone steal those trade secrets, what will happen? You can lose your business, right? So that is we can call trade secrets, right? So these are the three different terms, right? So if you are dealing with informations, so you need to think about these three things: copyright protections, patent rights, as well as trade secrets, right? So if you are using an information system, right, definitely you need to deal with one of these, right? Let's say if you think about education information system in the universities, right? So tell me which type of things they are maintaining among these three, which aspects universities are highly integrated. Tell me. Tell me the answer based on the university or educational institute perspective. Which among these three, copyright, patents, and trade secrets, which one is highly related, or which one can apply inside the educational organization? Maybe the inside the university, which type of aspect, protection aspects we can apply? Copyrights or patent rights or the trade secrets? Tell me.
Patents.
Patents. Yeah,
So
maybe.
administration,
Sorry.
so administration side trade secret and the student side patent, something like that.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, maybe the administrator side, maybe they are maintaining some tactics to conduct the exams or the teaching methods, right? So maybe they have some trade secrets, right? So they are maintaining some tactics to improve the students' knowledge or to enhance the knowledge of the students or the practical knowledge. They follow some specific tactics, right? That is we can call trade secrets in the educational institution perspective, right? If you look at the patents, right, maybe as a undergraduates or as a academic, if they are develop something, right, if they develop some products, right, maybe they are designing a particular machinery, so they are developing some agriculture machineries, or maybe you're developing some robotics. Those things we consider as a patents, right? If you develop some unique robots with some novel facilities or novel aspects, then we can apply for the patents, right? Not only patents, even in the university, we have copyright protections also, where we can apply copyright protections. Tell me. Definitely, you need to know copyright protection also available in the university educational institute perspective. Where? Where we can apply copyright in the university perspective.
Lecture notes?
Yeah, maybe lecture notes, right? So if you prepare your own notes, right, that is your copyrighted content, right? Maybe if you use someone's lecture notes, you need to clearly mention, right, what is the source of these materials, right? So you need to put the references, right? What else? Your thesis, right? Maybe you are doing a research, right? That is your novel ideas, right? So for that novel research ideas, right? That is your copyright content, right? So you are the owners, right? So maybe if as undergraduate students, if you have developed something, right? That is your copyright protection, right? So if you have developed these thesis or your research under this organization, this is also considered as a property of that organization, right? So the Southeastern University have the rights, copyrights. If someone use the same thesis or same methodology for their works, that university can file case against them, right? So likewise, different places, they have different aspects, copyrights, maybe the patents or trade secrets, right? It will varying depending on the organizations, right? Just clearly understand copyrights related to that novel ideas, right? So the innovative ideas, expressions of ideas. Patents, that is your idea, but you can develop something as objects or products, right? Trade secrets, it is related to business, right? The business secrets, it gives competitive advantages to the organizations, right? These are the differences between these three, right? So they are explaining what is copyright. Maybe in the United States, the copyright can be registered for the original works of expression, but not for the idea. Right? Maybe the copyright laws are different from country to country. They are set of procedures also different. If you violate something that copyright policies, what will happen? There are so many things with that for different countries or different regions. They are maintaining or they are enhancing some of the key aspects, right? So maybe if you are writing your research thesis, what will happen, right? If you get some information from someone's work, we need to put the citation, right? So why we are putting citations?
We
Tell
are
me.
giving the authorized person, sir.
Yeah, we are telling this is not my own idea. I can get these things from a particular guy or a particular group of people who actively participate in that research. So I can clearly mention, right? That's ethical things, right? If you are doing something, you are capturing something or some innovative things from someone's work, just you are clearly mentioned, right? We are getting these from these verses from this guy's uh, thesis or this guy's technical paper, right? So that is we can call fair use, right? So without illegal things, we are legally move the things, and we can achieve the things legally, right? Maybe nowadays softwares also we can copyright, right? So what will happen if you copyright a particular software? What you need? Tell me. Just think about you have a Windows 11 operating systems, right? If you want to copyright the operating system, what you need?
I want to buy the license.
If you are purchasing a license, that is not a copyrighted, right? So if you are purchasing a license in the sense, that is different concept, licensing, right? So if you purchase the license, you are not copyright the content, right? They are giving legal permission to use their things, right? So copyright means something different. What is that? Yeah, you can copyright the thing. Tell me.
Did you ask me about where we can get it? The sources you asking, sir?
No, no. If you want to copyright a software, right, what you need to do? Maybe let's say for writing your thesis, you can put the citation, right? Maybe you can find out their actual resources, actual ideas, or actual works. Just get some knowledge, then you can mention this is getting from this particular guy, right? Inline citations or citation for the referencing, we can tell, right? Similarly, let's say you have a software module, right? So you have a software, right? Now you need to copyright the software, right? What you need to do, the first thing, if you want to copyright the software,
You want to get that, sir? The source code?
you need a code, right? That is what I am expecting from you. If you want to copyright something, that software code module is freely available, right? Then what is open source software? Hmm? What is open source software? What do you mean by open source and commercial software? What is the difference between open source and commercial softwares? Tell me.
The open source, the code we can get it from the source code.
Yeah, the definition says if it is open source software means the source code is freely available in the internet, right? But
That's
commercialized version softwares cannot provide the source code. So just they will provide the executable files. Right? What's the difference between commercialized software and that open source softwares, right? So now what I'm telling, if you want to legally apply the copyright for a software module, first thing you need to get the source code, right? If that source code is not freely available in the internet, then we cannot copyright. Even we can legally copyright the content with properly defining the things, right? If you want to do the copyright, first thing you need to check whether the source code of that module is freely available. But if you think about Linux, Linux is an open source, right? The source code of the base module is freely available in the internet, right? So you can apply the copyright policies and you can enhance that software versions, right? Okay, just think about this way, right? You are developing a login application, right? You are developing a software application, right? For the login purposes, you are using hashing algorithms, right? So what do you think? You are using hashing algorithms. Tell me. Tell me that copyright perspective. What will happen? What will happen?
algorithm is not a problem, but the key is the problem to using. Key is the same
Yeah,
key.
algorithm is available, right? So algorithm is not a idea, right? So the algorithm is freely available, right? So they propose the algorithms, right? That is their idea that they develop that someone. The hash algorithm is invented by someone, right? So someone introduced to the world these hashing things, right? So if you are using that hashing algorithms to protect your username and password, that is not the you are breaking the copyright content, right? Just clearly understand which one is we are doing copyright content illegally, which one is not copywriting something legally, right? If you're writing a research paper, if you are put the references, that is we can call legally we are mentioning, right? Similarly, if you have a software module, Office 365 or Office 365 Word version, right? That source code is not freely available, right? Maybe you apply some reverse engineering and you can get the logics and code modules, and if you restructure, that is not a legal copyright, right? So if you want to do something legally as a copyright policies, that base documents, base ideas or base things freely available for all the public, right? Even the base is not available. The source code of that particular software module is not available in the internet, but you apply some reverse engineering techniques and you can get back the code from the executable modules or executable libraries. That is not, we are saying, legal copyright aspects, right? So just clearly understand, if you want to copyright someone or someone's idea, you need to clearly mention, I am getting these sources from this guy, right? If you are doing those things, they are release their innovative things to the public, right? Then only we can mention in your works, right? So the simple example, you are copyright the software application, but that software source code module is not available in the internet, right? So maybe it indicates you are not legally do the copyrights, right? So you apply some illegal aspects and you can do the copyright things, right? So that is not a ethical things, right? Similarly, the patents, right? If you need to get a patent, the novelty of that particular thing is mandatory, right? So if you want to apply for a patent, you need to ensure earlier no one can develop these tangible objects, or they are not develop these robotics, right? Sometimes maybe some template or some module that is crystal clear for each and every public, right? For those things also, you don't need to apply the patents, right? That's a crystal clear information. It is each and every individuals clearly know those things, right? For those things, we cannot apply these patents, right? So what you need to do, you need to write a proposal, right? On that proposal, you need to clearly explain the key features, your frameworks, how you are designing everything, and you need to justify what are the unique aspects in your modules and everything you need to mention and write a proposal. You need to submit the proposal to the patent organizations. Once they agree all the aspects of your objects or your prototype, then they will give the patents for your module. So for your uh, inventions, right? So once you get the patent, maybe in the future someone uses your uh, idea or your templates, they need to get your approvals, right? Otherwise, maybe you can take legal actions against them, right? So they are giving the history. 1981 patent laws has extended to include computer software, recognizing the algorithms are inventions, right? So the third one, trade secrets, right? So trade secret means your business secrets, right? So because of that novel mixturing or that trade secrets, you are getting benefits. You are earning profit, right? That is your trade secrets, right? So if you steal or if you lost your trade secret, if someone steal your trade secret, they also mimic your business ideas and they start new business. Because of that, you lost your customers or you lose your competitive advantage, right? So trade secret plays a major role in each and every organizations, right? So they are explaining there is no violation if anyone another person by chance independently learn that secret, right? So if they steal your trade secrets, it's okay. It's not okay, right? If they illegally find out your trade secrets by hiring some of their employees or maybe they use some of that vulnerabilities in your systems, they will find out your trade secret. It's not a acceptable behavior. But anyhow, by chance they are do some innovative research and development, they will find out the same component mixturing or similar trade secrets, they cannot say anything, right? So they find out in legal way by their research and development, they find out something. So we cannot do any illegal or legal actions against those type of things, right? So maybe you can apply the reverse engineering for a trade secret. It is not a violations, right? So if you apply some reverse engineering aspects, so reverse engineering means we can do the reverse things and get the trade secret. So that is not a violation, right? So just think about some maybe your trade secret is your software applications, right? So you are develop a software application that is your trade secret, right? That efficiency, their enhancement, their features of that software application, right? You are getting a more profit, more benefit. That is your trade secret, right? So now already I mentioned reverse engineering is not a violation of trade secrets, right? So if someone purchase your modules and they will apply some of the reverse engineering, and if they find out the trade secrets of your business, we cannot say they are violating the trade secret laws, right? So what you need to do, you need to avoid, right? Or you need to reduce the reverse engineering for your software application, right? You need to think about how we can uh, avoid, or how we can stop reverse engineering our software application by someone in outside the people, right? Because outside the people, they can purchase your software. If they apply the reverse engineering, your module shows all the trade secrets. That is your fault, right? Your weakness. So we cannot say if they reverse engineer and because of that we lose the things, right? We can't talk that way, right? So now we will compare these three aspects, right? Okay, can you compare these three: copyright, patents, and trade secrets? Okay, at least I will give you 5 minutes, right? Just compare these three: trade secrets, copyrights, and patents. How we you can differentiate these three aspects? How you can differentiate? Just try yourself. Tell me how you can differentiate these three aspects. Yeah, I will show you, right? Check with your answers. So this way you can compare the copyright, patents, and trade secrets, right? Just read one by one. So if it is a copyright, you need to protect. You need to protect expression of your ideas, right? So let's say you have an innovative idea, right? If someone steal your idea and they use the same idea, that is uh, they are copy your works, right? So you need to protect expression of your idea from someone steal and disclosure, right? So if it is a patent, you need to protect your inventions, right? So your your output, your product, you need to protect, right? Trade secrets, you need to protect your competitive advantage, or you need to protect your business secrets, right? So the next one, protected objects made public. So you have an innovative idea, right? You need to disclose your idea to the public, right? But if they want to use your idea, they need to use prior approval we are getting from your works, right? So the intention is to promote publications, right? That is the intention of copyright, right? If you think about the patent, you can design, file, you need to submit to the patent organizations, but we don't need to disclose or publish trade secrets, right? So if you look at that requirements to distribute, we have a requirement to distribute the copyrights, but we don't need to distribute the requirement. Distribute requirement is not available for patents and trade secrets, right? To file, easiness of the file, right? It's very easy to file the copyright content. You can copyright the content by yourself, right? But if it is a patent, if you want to file your patent, it's a complex task. You need to do the proposal, writing, justification. You clearly mention the novel things. There are so many documentation you need to prepare, right? It's a bit difficult compare with the copyright filing, right? But no need to filing your trade secrets, right? You need to keep that one as a secret. No need to file those things, right? So the duration is varying for country to country for the copyrights, but patents 19 years for the patent, right? There is no duration for your trade secret, right? Your trade secret is always secret. There is no defined duration. It considered as a trade secret, right? So the legal protection. If someone uses your copyright content, if your innovative idea they steal and use without proper justification or proper approval, then you can sue means file a case, right? You can take legal actions against them. Similarly, for patents as well as you can file a case, right? Similarly for the trade secrets, right? If they someone steal your copyright content or the patent or the trade secret, you can take actions against the legal actions, right? So these are the differentiation between these copyright, patents, and trade secrets, right? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, now we will look at some special characteristics of information, right? So why we are considering the special characteristic of information, right? Already we have some laws, right? For all other aspects, we have laws, right? Legal documentation is there, right? What is legal things they are defining for all other aspects. Why they are giving more specific concern for information or that information system related laws, right? Why they are giving more priority or for giving equal or more importance for information and the information system related laws, that the behavior of information is totally different from other aspects, right? If you think about the other materialistic world, right, the information is also an asset nowadays, right? But not similar to the other properties, other assets, right? So if you look at here, information is not a finite resource, right? That finite means that is not limitation for information resource, right? So there is no depth. Day by day, the information is created, right? The created information is available. It is not a finite resource. But if you look at some other tangible resources, they have finite, right? So one day it will be finished or it will be uh, loose. Loose in the sense we can less day by day if you are using a particular asset, right? It may be finished, right? The resource may be zero, empty, right? But not the case in information, right? Information is a finite, not a finite resource, infinite resource, right? So maybe it can be created or it can be increases day by day. If you think about other assets or other resources, we cannot reproduce, right? But information we can easily reproduce, right? Recreation of resources. Also, information have a minimal marginal cost, right? If you think about other resources, you need a maximum cost to maintain, store, or to secure those, but not the case in the information. With the minimum marginal cost, we can do the things, right? Also, the value of the information is varying depending on the time, right? And if you look at here, the COVID situation, right? So if you have collected that COVID related data, that has must high value by the related people, right? But nowadays, that is valueless, right? So what I'm telling here, depending on the time, the value of the resource may be varying, right? That facility is for only for the information, right? The uh, value of that information resource is varying depending on the time, right? Also, it is a intangible resources, right? So because of these characteristics, they are introducing some special legal laws or ethical laws for these informations, right? If you are dealing with information or information system or computers, we cannot apply the same legal laws we are using for other assets, right? Because the behavior or characteristics of information are totally different from the other materialistic resources, right? That's why we are separately giving more concern for these specific informations and their laws, right? Okay, now we will look at some legal rights of employees and employers, right? Maybe in near future, you also join as a software engineer or some different roles in different companies, right? So now at the time you say you are an employee, the person who provide the employment, we can say as an employer, right? So between the employees and employers, you need to understand some rights, right? That legal rights. So the first rights, let's say, while you're working as a software engineer, right, as a team, you develop something, right? You develop a product or you develop a software, right? That software module is a property of that employer. You cannot say this is my own property, right? Maybe this is not your own team's property, right? So if you are working as an employee within an organization, if you develop something or if you develop a module or if you develop a software application, that is a property of that company, right? The employer's property, right? Not yours, right? So that is the most important concern you need to remember, right? So that is explained by this paragraph, right? So here they are explaining those, right? The ownership of a patent, right? So patent in the sense you are developing a software application or you are developing a module or you are developing a component, right? So that practical, that physical outcome, we can say patents, right? So we work as an employee in that organization, or maybe we are a group of people develop that innovative IoT modules or innovative product, but we cannot say that is my own product, right? I am the owner, right? The ownership is for that particular organization. Employer has the ownership, right? So keep in mind that that's the important thing, the rights of employers and employees between the application. Similarly, the copyright content, right? So maybe you are creating a blueprint or you are creating an innovative idea, right? As a team of employees, they are introduced or they are design a innovative idea, right? So for that idea, the ownership of the copyright content is given for the organization, not for you guys, right? So why we are saying those things, that organization hired you as an employee, right? So for that work, what you are done, that organization pays a salary for you, right? So you are working on that project as an employee because of their paying salaries, but that product or that patent or copyright content is the ownership goes for that particular organization. Even if you are working as a research assistant in an organization or in a university, that outcome, the product is not yours, right? That is the ownership is automatically goes for that organization, right? That university or that educational institution, right? the licenses, right? Maybe if you're working on a company, right, they're giving you different licenses for different purposes, office license and some other software module licenses. We can use those licenses to work out in that organization to carry out their day by day tasks, not to use those licenses for to do the personal requirements, right? Maybe we cannot use those resources to complete the personal works, right? Similarly, for the trade secret protections, right? In a company, they are maintaining some trade secrets, right? Each company, because of that trade secret, they are earning profit, right? So at that time, you are working as an employee, you need to clear idea. We cannot take or we cannot share those trade secrets with someone else, right? That is your company secret, right? If someone find out your secret, they can mimic, they can copy your ideas and they can start a new business, right? So you need to give more priority to secure, maintain the secret about your trade secret of your organizations, right? So these are some of the legal rights related to employers and employees, right? Okay, next they are explaining how we can report a software drawbacks, right? So if you are working with a software application, you are purchasing a software application, right? As an individual, as a users, right? How we can report that drawbacks or issues in the software application, right? Just nothing, right? First of all, you need to create the incidents, right? Or you need to share the knowledge. This is the software application. This is the version we are using. This version have this type of vulnerabilities or weaknesses. Then you need to send those reports to the vendors, right? So vendor just go through your reports and just they need to verify, right? Just they need to ensure, yes, we agree. These are the some of the drawbacks we identify in the systems. Once they send that acceptance notification of their drawbacks, within 30 days, they need to inform all other users, right? So the similar drawbacks is identified by all the users so that company, the software company, they have responsibility to inform all other users, right? We are facing this type of drawbacks in our system. So to avoid those tasks, you need to skip these things or don't use these things for next 3 to 4 weeks, right? So the next thing, after they will inform within 30 days, they need to apply some countermeasures, right? How we can sort it out the problems. Then they need to carry out the task and they need to sort out the issues, right? So within 30 days, they need to sort out the issues or drawbacks and they need to redeploy the application within the 30 day. It means they install that patches, right? They need to upgrade the patches and they sort out the problems. Then they need to share the sort out the issues for all the users, especially for those guys who reported the issues, right? So that this is just how we are reporting a software drawbacks, right? So maybe you are purchasing a software, right? This is the ethical way you need to communicate with that uh, particular software organization. Maybe just think about someone just he faces an issue, he posts on those issues in the social media platform. What will happen? Tell me. You are purchasing a software module, right? You are legally purchased by paying a the certain amount of money. But maybe after 2 to 3 months later, you are facing an issue. There is a drawback, right? Just you put all the details and you submit into the social media platform or some other public platform. You are writing a report. What will happen? Is it a legal aspect? It's a legal thing. That is not illegal, right? Maybe if you share those information, that organization can file a case against you if you share those type of information to the public, right? So keep in mind that how we are interact or how we can communicate with the companies or industries while we are facing some issues, right? So you need to find out the appropriate pathways to communicate with them and sort it out the issues, right? That is a acceptable behavior, right? So just you can read about for more detail about these slides, right? Okay, the next one, right? Computer crimes. I don't need to explain more about the computer crimes, right? So maybe before invention of computers, right? What will happen if you think if you heard about the crime activities, they will murder someone, they will rob a bank, right? They will do some littering works, likewise, right? That is the criminal activities we heard about throughout the newspapers, right? But nowadays, very rarely we will find out the murders and robberies and some other littering works, right? Now, after the invention of computers or after the evolution of technological emergency, most of the criminal activities are done related to the computers or the electronic devices, right? Maybe that robberies or the theft, everything is based on the electronic devices, right? So that is the key thing we realize nowadays, right? After the invention of computers. So now what will happen? Now if all that illegal activities or criminal activities are done throughout the computers, definitely we need to make electronic laws, right? So if someone do a criminal activity by using a computer, what is the laws? How we can mitigate these laws, right? So if someone murder, we have that legal laws, right? If someone murder, what is the punishment we can give to him, right? So throughout the court, they will write the laws, right? Similarly, but nowadays the technical criminal activities, right? By using the technology, they are doing criminal activities are day by day increases, right? So now that that legal bodies they realize, right, the importance of creating different laws, right, against the illegal activities happen throughout the electronic mediums, right? So based on this requirement, right, different countries they act, they create different laws, right? So now we will look at some example laws created by different countries, right? Before moving to that laws, right, we will look at something, right? So now they're explaining why we need a separate category for computer crimes, right? So previously, we are considered the criminal activities as the same, but nowadays we are separately maintaining a branch, right? That cyber security branches, right, to deal these type of electronic criminal activities. Why they are doing separate branches or separate units to deal or to handle these computer-based criminal activities, right? So they are explaining 4 reasons, right? So why we need a separate category for computer crimes? So normally the laws are created if someone violate the properties, right? If someone violate or steal someone's property or someone's value property, then they are created laws, right? But if you think about the computer service, right? If you think about the computer crime, the properties are varying, right? So throughout the computer crime, we are not steal one big properties, right? Property in the sense we are not steal the lands and other things, right? So throughout the computer crime, we are stealing electronic uh, assets, right? So we cannot apply the same legal aspects for these uh, electronic theft, right? So the properties are vary, that the physical properties and that the information or that the value we are steal throughout the computer crime is totally different, right? So that's why they are defining a separate laws, right? The next one, the rules of evidences, right? So if it is a legal perspective, right, we need an evidence. right? If you murder someone, we need evidence, right? So that is a physical evidence. Likewise, we are maintaining some different medium of evidences. But if you think about that computer crimes, they are totally different the evidencing behaviors, right? If you steal something, even we cannot find out the physical identity of that criminal, right? Because they hide their original identity throughout the electronic platform, right? So we cannot apply the same evidencing aspects, how we handle the evidences for the physical crimes, we cannot use in the computer crimes, right? So that's why we are separately defining some laws. If you think about the computer crimes, you have a big challenge, right, for the integrity and confidentiality of the information, right? Similarly, the value of the data, right? These are some of the reasons why they are creating unique laws or unique separate branches or separate divisions for the computer crimes, right? So what is the meaning of computer crime is hard to prosecute? What is the meaning? It's very difficult legally file a case for the computer crime. Why? Okay, just think about someone steal your personal files or someone steal your personal image gallery for some purposes. It is not a same procedure how if someone steal your physical property or your wallet, right? If someone steal your wallet, that's a different procedure, right? We need to file a case, but we cannot use the same procedure if someone steal your digital gallery, your image gallery, he steal your informations, right? We cannot apply the legal uh, aspects to case a file. We cannot use the same techniques. Why?
The process is different, sir.
So these points are explained why, right? If you think about the court, the lawyers and that legal enforcement, the people who involved in the legal aspects, they are not familiar with these computer crime related things, right? It is totally technically aspects, right? So if the judges or the lawyers, they are lack of knowledge, right, to justice, to get the justice or to argue in the court, they don't have enough knowledge, right? That's why they are established a separate branches, right? So that cyber crime, right, the cyber crime division, they enforce there. All the people are highly technically sound knowledge as well as they know the legal aspects. Maybe the lawyers and judges also they are technically sound knowledge in the cyber crime, digital forensics related things, right? The second one, right? Also, there is a lack of physical evidencing. If someone do a criminal activity throughout the computer, it's very difficult to find out the physical evidences, right? Everything is done in the virtual mode, right? So we can't get physical evidences for those activities, right? The lack of political impact because directly harm to people, right? So if it's a computer crime, there is no political impact is there, right? That particular individuals, one individual is affected by that attack or the crime activities. Certain individuals, they are the people who done that attacks, right? So it gives direct harmful for the people, right? The public. Also the complexity of the cases, right? It's a very complex situation if it is a computer crime happen, right? Sometimes what will happen if some uh, computer crime is happen in an organization, they destroy their database. Just think about they destroy or some hackers intrude the system and destroy the database, right? That organization, they are not release, they are not share those attacks to the public. If they share those information, their name, the image of that organization also, their reputation is broken, right? Because of those reasons, that organizations also they are not likely to share those attacks or the criminal acts happen to the organization, right? So that's why we are telling it's very difficult to file a case, prosecute, file a case if something happened as a computer crime. Okay, now we will look at some example computer laws, right? Just read those laws. Okay, what is the first one? United States Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, right? So it is related to that prohibit computer fraud, transmitting code that damages systems or unauthorized access to systems, right? United States Economic Espionage Act, right? Illegal use of computers for foreign spying, right? To do a spying for some other country, you can use these laws, right? US Freedom of Information Act, US Privacy Acts, right? So these are some of the examples, right? So just you can read those things. Yeah, so there are a few more, right? Just read these things, right? United States Electronic Communication Privacy Act, Grammar Leach Billali Act, right? So GLBA, we discussed yesterday. What is that? Financial uh, information sharing, right? If someone steal your financial information, so if you have any crime related to financial institute aspects, then we can file it, or you can go through this case, right? HIPAA, that is related to the medical domains, right? Patriot Acts. So these are some of the example laws, right? So just go through these laws, right? So few more, right? CAN Spam Act, California Breach Notification, Council of European Agreement, Cybercrime, EU Data Protection Act, right? These are some of the examples, right? At least you uh, understand these laws, right? So each laws related for the computer crime, right? Cybercrime related laws, right? If someone do illegal things related to the computers or that technology aspects, then you can file a case by throughout these laws, right? Okay, now we will compare the laws and ethics, right? What is the difference between laws and ethics? Laws, you already know, we discussed some laws. Also, we have some ethics. How we can differentiate laws and ethics? Tell me. How we can differentiate laws and ethics? If it is a law, right, that is the law contains set of rules and regulations, right? But if you think about ethics, that comprises the guidelines and principles. What do you mean by that? Which one more significant? Just think about in the universities, we have some laws, right? Also, we have some ethics, right? Tell me some examples in the university you consider as a laws as well as ethics. How we can differentiate laws and ethics?
Those we want to strictly follow, so
Yeah, yeah. It is mandatory to follow the laws, right? But if it is an ethics, just you can follow the ethics just for your well-being, right? For your well-beings, we can follow the ethics, right? Just think about exam violations, right? We have some laws, right? If you do some exam violations, right? Definitely they will strictly follow the laws, right? Maybe you need to face some committees, right? You need to there is a procedure if you do an examination violation, right? But not the case. Let's say I will tell you an example for ethics, right? So let's say in the ethics, right? Yeah, maybe within the lecture halls, maybe while you are attending the lectures, you need to properly dress, right? Right, you are properly dressed while you are attend the lectures, right? That's ethics, right? So for your well-being, we are telling, right? So to maybe someone look at you, they need to realize you are a professional individuals, right? They need to realize the professionalism, right? That's why we are implementing the ethics for your well-being, right? Also, sometimes we are telling you need to sit for the lectures on time, right? So that's an ethics, right? We are throughout the ethics, you can improve your behaviors, right? Your characters are enhancing, right? So that's why we are using ethics. But if it is a laws, if you violate the laws, you have a punishment, right? There are some legal bodies, they will punish you, or they need to do something against your behaviors if it's a law, but not the case in ethics, right? So if you go through this table, you can realize the comparison between laws and ethics, right? If it is a law, it is described by formal written documents. If it is a laws, definitely they need some documentation for these, right? Exam violation, they are clearly mentioned in the documentation, right? In your student guidebook, they are clearly mentioned, right? The written documents, they are written in the formally, right? So that is laws. If it is an ethics, that is not a described by unwritten principles, right? Ethics means that is not a written document, but anyhow they are mentioned throughout their talks or some other ways they are explain the ethics, right? The law is always interpreted by a court, right? So if it is a or if it is a legal, the country laws, they are they are interpreted by the court. But if it's in universities, they as an administration, they interpreted that laws, right? That organization interpret those laws, but not the case in ethics, right? Ethics are interpreted by each individuals, right? If it is a laws, that is equal for all the people, right? That the legal people, they are the one establish these laws, right? So the people who are creating these laws, they are uh, sound knowledge or experts on that area, right? Those people creating those laws. But if it is an ethics, that is written by the philosophers, the religious people, right? The professional groups, they are the one define these ethics, right? Similarly, laws apply for everyone. Maybe the ethics we can apply for the personally, right? So the court take decisions if two or more laws are conflict, right? Let's say for a particular situation, there are two laws are conflicting. The court take decisions which laws we can apply, but not the case in ethics, right? So the court take the final decisions, right? But not the same way in ethics, right? The laws are enforced by the police as well as court, but that ethics are enforced by the people or principals or that individuals. They need to enforce the ethics, but these laws by enforced by the police as well as the court, right? So just differentiate the difference between laws and ethics, right? Okay. Okay, now I will explain, right? Now I'm planning to give some use case scenarios, right? I'm giving you some different use case scenarios that is related to information system security things, right? So it means there are some use cases, how you can handle those use cases, right? So these are some of the example use cases, right? So how you can go through those use cases and you can find out the ethical behavior of that use case, right? So if you want to find out the ethical behavior, right? If you want to find out the ethical behavior of different situations, you need to follow some of that important steps, right? Before you can judge or you can find out the ethical behavior or ethical clearance, right? So maybe you need to take a decision, right? Related whether it's an ethical or it's not ethical or it's illegal or illegal. You need to take some decision. How you can take the decision? First, you need to understand the situation, right? First of all, you need to understand the situation, right? So it means you can read and understand the situation. After that, you need to find out the related theories or ethical reasoning, right? So first you need to understand the situation. Then you need to find out the related laws or the related ethical aspects, right? After that, you need to list out these ethical principles involved in that particular case study, right? Then we need to find out or we need to determine which principles are outweigh others, right? Which principles are highly related to these situations, right? Finally, you need to make the decisions and you need to disclose that ethical behavior, whether it's ethically correct or ethically wrong. Finally, you need to tell your judgment for this situation, right? So first you need to understand, then you need to find out what are the theories, ethical theories or ethical reasonings are related to this one. Then we need to find out what are the ethical principles involved in this. Then we need to find out what are the highly related ethical principles. Then finally, you need to take the decision. If you are taking an ethical decision, you need to justify that, right? Why we are telling this is ethically correct, why we are telling it is ethically wrong, right? So this is the thing we need to define or we need to follow while you are taking an ethical decisions, right? Okay, now I will show you one ethical case. Right, tell me, just read about and just try to follow the step and tell me whether it's ethically right or wrong. Right. So this is situation one. Right. So just read these paragraph and tell me whether it's ethically correct or wrong. I'm giving you, let's say, okay, 5 minutes. Do it now. Just read the paragraph and tell me. Just take a note. What are the ethical things are here? If it is an ethical, why you are telling ethical? If we are telling it's not ethical, why you are telling it's not ethical? Right? Do it now. I will tell the answers. Right? So this is not a ethical. Right? So this is unethical. Why I am telling it is unethical? Right? Maybe in that paragraph they are mentioned. Right? Maybe after he complete his work. Right? The night shift. Maybe doing day shift, night shift, there are very less number of works are going on, right? So it means he realized those things, right? So we don't need to utilize all the resources. Most of the resources are say uh, without doing the task, right? So he realized and he uses those resources, computing resources, to carry out his personal works, his personal stock portfolio development, right? So that is not ethical, right? Even the resource is freely available, right? He cannot use those resources for his personal usage, right? If he want, he need to get the prior approval from his top level managers, right? So maybe he can violate the company policies, right? So he cannot use that resources. Here he is misusing the resources, right? He use the resources for his personal works. Personal stock portfolio development is not a company work. He uses those resources for his personal work without getting the prior approval from the management, right? Or the organizational people. Without getting the prior approval, he will do the thing. So this behavior is unethical, right? So you cannot follow those uh, same behavior in the organization. Yeah, that is the correct answer. Right now, we will move for the second. Okay, how about this one? Just tell me quickly, right? Maybe within 2 to 3 minutes, tell me the answers. What it says. Privacy rights. Right? So these are some scenarios, case studies. You need to justify whether it's ethical or not based on the knowledge what you have related to information system security. You need to justify, right? You need to validate the statement for your answers, right? So just read the question also, right? Donald cannot share that information, right? Why? let's say that information is collected for some other purposes, right? So you need to think about the privacy content, right? So if you're collecting collecting the information for a particular purpose, we cannot use those information for another purposes, right? If you want to do those data for some other purposes or other research purposes, you need to clearly get the consent, right? While you are collecting the data, you need to get the permission from the audience, right? The people who are collecting those information, you need to get the permission. Without getting the permissions, we cannot share those information for Ethel to give the to do the his research, right? So it's not a ethically correct behavior if Donald share those informations, right? So you need to justify, right? Related to the privacy concern, right? The get privacy concern, then you need to justify the statement, right? The next one, right? Okay, this one, scenario 3. Just read about and tell me. Yeah. So the director of the computer center suspends the Carol's account, right? Without asking that explanation from him. Is it a good practice?
The harsh punishment during the due process.
Maybe they need to arrange a meeting and they need to ask his actions, right? What is your task you've done, right? So rather than suspend his account, they need to arrange a meeting and get the justification from him, right? The purpose of these, they need to sort it out the root causes, right? So if Carol his intention is wrong, anyhow they need to get the justification from him. If he suspend his account, that is not a proper decisions they are taken, right? Then what will happen? Even his intention is wrong, but finally that Charlie is in a big trouble, right? Okay. But just think about others also, right? Just read it, find out the answers. Now just go through this one. The fourth one. Do it quickly. Yeah, the next company, right? So it is not an ethical behavior, right? It's just think about you are developing something, right? Maybe that Gray is develop his own, but he developed those under the knowledge and skills he learned in that Star Computers, right? But if you, let's say you are working on a company, right? You are developing a module, right? In that company A, but you are getting not proper proper acceptance, so proper acceptable behavior from the company A, then you are resign the company and you go for the company B. The company B also competitors of company A. Then you can give that product for company B. It is not an ethical behavior, right? So that is the thing you need to point out here, right? Ownership of the programs, right? Also, the first company, if they appreciate his work, he also stay, right? The Gray he can, if they give some compensations or appreciation for Gray, he also that Star Computers company get the benefits and they can get something. But they also, as an employer, they also try to cheat that employees. Because of that, they lost that product, right? Both sides they have some issues, right? So you can justify based on these, right? Okay, next one. Okay, just tell me the answers quickly. The license agreement, yeah, they are clearly mentioned, right? Only one guy can use the software, right? Sui, he is the one purchase, and he or she need to use that software. Only one user they are giving, but anyhow, she give that software for Louis, right? So that behavior is a unethical behavior, right? So if Louis wants, he can purchase the software and he can do the testing and other things, right? So that is the thing he need to mention here, right? So how about next one? Okay, just yeah, as a homework, right? Just take a screenshot of this one, right? I will show you 3 different scenarios, right? Just take a a screenshot and just read the paragraph and tell me the answer by next class, right? This is situation 6 related to fraud activities, right? Each and everyone take a screenshot, right? The 6th one, fraud, right? The next one, accuracy of information. 7th one, the 8th one, right? Ethics of hackings or cracking, right? So as a homework, just read this paragraph and write the ethical behaviors, or maybe it's not ethical. Just justify these statements, right? So for these three, just find out the uh, justification which ethical behavior or not. You need to justify why you are telling ethical, why it is not ethical. So these are some of the 8 case studies related to information system security with legal, ethical, and privacy related concerns, right? Okay, this is the summary of the things what we have discussed today, right? That we just understand copyright related to the innovative ideas, patents, outcomes. So that a product trade secret is a business secrets, right? So how they are differentiate, right? What is the difference between laws and ethics, right? What are the different laws we have, right? So how we can report an incident if your drawbacks in a system, the related rights and laws related to employer and employees, right? Then we discuss few case studies related to the information system security in the with the perspective of legal and ethical aspects as well as privacy concerns related case studies, right?